So the Yuji or the Yuta and the Toji video did a lot better than what I thought, and so I'm going to do another comparison with two characters. But to give a little background for why I'm making this one specifically about Mahito and the Black Flash Yuji, the one currently available on Global, and we're going to be talking about his updated buffed kit so that it's something to look forward to, right? And the reason why I'm comparing these two individual green units is because of the fact that a lot of people have the FOMO-itis in regards to Hollow Purple Gojo. I've already talked about how you should not be pulling on his banner because he will inevitably be put onto the standard banner character. So let's just ignore the fact that Hollow Purple Gojo is here, right? And obviously he is the best green attacking character, right? I mean, that's just, plain and simple. But we're going to scroll down here and we're going to be looking at Mahito and Yuji. Now, I know there are other characters out here like Megumi, like Nobara, like Maki here, and then Nanami, but we're just not looking at them. We're going to be looking at Yuji and Mahito, given the fact that Mahito is going to be coming out relatively soon, and this Black Flash Yuji got a buff to his kit. So let's go ahead and discuss Mahito because he is currently going to be, I want to say, the second character that is going to be coming out relatively soon. If we go ahead and jump to the timeline of events, I believe it was somewhere around here. Okay, so this was Hollow Purple, and whoops, don't want to do that. We're not there yet. Right here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, Nobara is the next character coming out that has already been official. Mekamaru. Okay, so it's after Mekamaru that Mahito. Mahito will be coming around there. So let's go ahead and discuss these two characters, right? So Mahito obviously is a green damage dealing character, and we're not going to discuss Black Flashes. We're just going to go over his kit. So baseline for skill 1 is that he's going to be doing ranged taijutsu damage to a single enemy, and then if the enemy does not have a weakness to the green type, it's going to change the skill effect to, it's going to continue to do ranged taijutsu damage to the selected enemy as a type that was the selected enemy has a weakness to. So that's very, very good. So regardless, you're going to be getting, type effective hit damage off on an enemy, at least with skill 1. And then when the domain is active, depending on your own jujutsu and the enemy's remaining HP, it could instantly kill the enemy. It's got a nice little effect in regards to his actual domain skill in the anime, which is very, very nice. Skill 2 is it's going to grant a miniaturization status to himself for 1 turn. It's going to fill his own ultimate skill gauge by 270, which is absolutely busted. Now, when the domain is active, it's going to change the effect to this. It's going to deal a massive amount of melee taijutsu damage to an enemy that the selected enemy has a weakness to. Attacks without a type when selecting an enemy without a weakness. It's going to increase the enemy taijutsu damage received by 20% for 2 turns, which is very, very good. And depending on his own jujutsu and the remaining, it's going to have that same effect with the instant kill possibility, right? And then for the miniaturization status, when you don't have the domain active, you're going to be evading a single target attacks. Just that's what you're going to be doing. So very good. Enables him to have survivability, right? Skill 3, the Idle Transfiguration. You're going to be dealing melee jujutsu damage to a selected enemy, and then depending on your own jujutsu and enemy's remaining HP, it could possibly kill them. This is not with the domain active, so you do have that possibility of instant kill capabilities. Then when the domain is active, your own jujutsu damage is going to be increased by 24.5% for 1 turn 1 time. It's going to increase the overall damage that the skill would normally do, and then you're also going to have that possibility of having that instant kill capabilities. So before we go over the domain, what the domain does to each skill, the first skill is that it is going to be just having that possibility of instant kill capabilities. Skill 1 is obviously very good just inherently by itself. Like this right here, that's very, very good. Always having that, attack advantage is phenomenal. Skill 2 is it's going to be doing damage instead of just, causing you to evade single target attacks while also boosting your ultimate skill gauge. But when the domain is active, that's going to take that away. You're also going to be increasing the enemy's taijutsu damage received. So that's very, very good. And then this right here, it's mainly just boosting overall damage output capabilities. Now, when the domain is used, right, you're going to be dealing ranged Jujutsu damage to a selected enemy. Deals damage equal to about 15% of all enemies' HP. It's going to expand the domain for 4 turns. And then while it's active, it's going to grant guaranteed hit effect and attack immunity nullification to himself. It's going to decrease own damage received by 24.5%. Unable to fill your own ultimate skill gauge. Makes sense. And then when using a skill, it's going to have that possibility of the instant kill capabilities, right? Next up is his auto skills, the regeneration. If your HP is 70% or below and your own curse energy is 40 or above, it's going to restore HP by 8%. So little bit of stipulation here. We looked at Yuji or Yuta and Toji before, and Toji does not have the stipulation. It's just, it happens all the time, but it makes sense given the fact that Toji was released after the fact. So a little bit of power creep in that aspect. Next up is inflicts damage cut to self, decreases his own damage received by 12%, which is very, very good. So he's somewhat of a self-sustainable character, being able to, guarantee the fact that you are going to be doing effective type damage to every enemy, which is very good. Also being able to, increase the damage received by the enemy, reducing his own damage, and the possibility of healing, which is very, very good. Next up is the Black Flash Yuji Itadori. Now, keep in mind, we are looking at the buffed skills for him. So, skill 1 is it's just taijutsu damage to a single enemy with a certain chance of performing the Black Flash. With Yuji's, we have to look at Black Flash as well. Is that it's able to attack souls, resistant to poison and soul damage. When the Black Flash is performed, it's going to increase his own Black Flash rate by 100% for 3 turns. So, being able to do a lot of damage, right? And it's been moved to his auto skill. So we'll get to that when we get there. Skill 2 is it's unchanged, right? It's going to increase his own critical hit rate. It's going to increase his own Black Flash rate, and it's going to fill his own ultimate skill gauge. So very, very good. Getting a critical rate boost while also getting a Black Flash rate boost, and then, filling his own ultimate skill gauge. All very, very, very good. Maybe not on the same par as Mahito's skill 2, but it's still very, very strong. Skill 3 is you are going to be dealing taijutsu damage 4 times to a single enemy. It's then going to decrease the selected enemy's critical hit resistance by 39.6% for 2 turns, which is actually really, really good. This skill 3 is arguably the best out of his 3 skills. His ultimate is going to be doing a boatload of taijutsu damage to a single enemy for 3 hits. The first hit will become Black Flash. It's going to increase the first hit's Black Flash damage, increases first through third hits critical hit damage. So you're progressively increasing your critical hit damage, which is very, very nice. Now, auto skills, jump in here. So the first one is unchanged, is, you have Sukuna's Vessel. Obviously, you are going to be immune to poison and soul resistance, and resist to instant death from soul, which is very nice. Now, he has a zone. It's going to increase his own Black Flash rate by 100%, increases his taijutsu damage by 30% for 3 turns, and it's going to recover own curse energy by 5 when Black Flash is performed. So the moment you activate the ultimate, you're getting all of this, which is good. And then the taijutsu damage is going to activate instantly on that first hit, so you have 2 more additional hits of Black Flash while increasing the crit hit damage. So very, very, very good. Now, who is a better quote-unquote investment, right? You have, and arguably they're both free to play, given the fact that you could have rerolled for Yuji. Now, I mean, you would have been a dummy if you did, instead of going for the Gojo. But, he's there, right? And he's part of the standard banner pool. I'm sure a lot of people have him, and if you don't feel bad, whatever. And then Mahito is going to be free. He's a free-to-play unit. And honestly, he's really damn good. Like he's easily the second best green attacking unit in the game. I know we went to checked out the timeline, but if we go back to tier list and just look at raw damage, he is on the same page as all these other green units, but he is easily second best green damage dealing character in the game, and he's very, very, very strong. All you need to do is just bring supports for him because he's able to provide enough for himself to warrant that. And I personally think Mahito is, while he's not on the same damage capability as Hollow Purple Gojo in terms of his nuking capabilities, in terms of raw damage output, Mahito is definitely in a class up there.